Madam Presiding Officer?
Yes, sir.
Before we begin the meeting, I actually have a statement that I would like to read or present to the legislature. I know we're getting ready to consider the rules contract, as we always do, as the first part of rules. I want to notify you, 13 days ago, this side of the aisle presented a bill which would have disclosed how lobbyists and consultants, officers of political parties, if they have any contact with Nassau County officials. To this day, our bill has not been heard. Second, on Thursday of last week, we presented to yourself, we copied, I believe, the county executive, on hearings regarding the ABTEC situation, as well as Senator Skelos and his son Adam Skelos. To this day, we have not heard anything. To me, it is reckless as well as unconscionable that on the day that Senator Skelos has been charged with a criminal complaint, as well as his son, that we would go forward with a contract process that does not have any disclosures in place. I am requesting that we table this matter and call a moratorium on all county contracts until we can get to a point where we have a disclosure bill. Many of these contracts, we do not know where and how they are getting here to the floor. And to me, again, it is unconscionable that we would go forward and present these contracts and vote on these contracts, knowing not just what we have known for the last 2 weeks, but what we have known now for the last hour or two. And I request that this time we table all of the contracts so that we can place a proper disclosure bill, or even if you have your own bill, we would love to entertain and see your bill. To this date, we have not seen any bill from the Republicans, from the majority. We have not seen any bill be presented for a vote. I could not see in any good faith that we would go forward and present in doing any contracts today that do not have the proper disclosure in place.
I second that.
There's nothing on the floor. There's absolutely nothing on the floor. I have a comment. Okay, first of all, I don't believe it's in our best interest to shut down the government by not calling contracts. Second of all, as far as the lobbying legislation is concerned, I have received your version of it and the county executive's version. We are doing our due diligence, and when we are prepared to present a piece of legislation, we shall do it. In the meantime, I think we owe it to everyone to make sure that whatever we pass is able to be enforced, and not only enforced, but be processed through the proper channels. So that's it. I'm not going to debate. I really don't want to debate.
This deserves a debate, because to me, the way I look at it is, can you speak for certain that based off of the U.S. Attorney's complaint that was filed today, that there are no other ABTEC situations in this county or any other contract that's before us today? Can you speak for 100% certainty that that is the case?
I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you right now. I believe my committee does due diligence as far as vetting the contract. And we have done that with every single one of them. Hold on, I'm not finished.
Okay.
And when there is question, we ask the questions. Okay? Not at the time it's presented, but before, so that we can decide whether or not we're going to put those contracts on. And there have been times when we have not gotten the questions and we did not receive the satisfactory answers, and so the contracts are not put before us. And probably so today as well. Without due diligence on the part of the administration, we are not going to just pass through contracts. And I'm not going to be a party to shutting down the government by not having entertaining the contracts today.
We're not asking, we are not asking for government to be shut down. We're asking for the if you would have considered our bill 13 days ago, or presented your own bill, maybe you didn't feel there's a need for the bill. But if a bill would have been presented to this legislature, we would have been happy to discuss it with you. It's been 13 days. I guess Mr. Skelos and his son need to actually go to prison before we actually consider a bill.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry you don't think our way of doing things is not satisfactory to you. I'm telling you right now, you submitted you submitted legislation, the county executive submitted legislation.
Yes, and
we're
neither of the
doing our
counties
due
did.
diligence by analyzing each. And if neither one is satisfactory, then we probably
But
can
then,
come up with
Madam
our own.
Officer, it comes back to my point. How can you speak with certainty that any of these contracts that you're getting ready to vote on do not fall under the same area as an asset? How can you do that?
Minority Leader Abrams, as you just pointed out, the situation with the Senate Majority Leader and whoever else is involved is in the hands of law enforcement.
Yes.
Let it play out and let us see whether...
I'm sorry. We can't let that play out.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Then you have a problem.
We all should have a problem.
If you have information on any other contract, bring it forth.
But that's not that was part of the problem. We didn't find out about it until the U.S. Attorney presented it to us. I mean, I would love to think that the U.S. Attorney is looking into all the contracts, but that's not the case. We don't know. We have to govern ourselves. The way we govern ourselves is making sure that we have a transparent process which provides that all disclosures are made, whether they're made by the lobbyists, consultants, officers of a particular company. That is our responsibility. That bill is not in place. So we need to make sure we have some type of process moving forward.
Listen to me, Minority Leader Abrams. Okay? The process has been in place for many years. Okay?
No,
the way
it's
we
not.
have done,
That's not true.
I'm sorry. Don't tell me it's not true.
Madam President, do not fool the public, because you know full well there is no process that we have full disclosure of the principle,
you're not talking about the same thing. I'm talking about the contract process. And the contract process has been approved by both sides of the legislature for God knows how many years. Okay? Now, you've said your piece, and I'm telling you right now, when we are ready to present a lobbying registration piece of legislation, we shall do it. But we're not going to hold the contracts hostage.
So let me make sure I understand this correctly. So you're prepared to vote for contracts, though they could fall into the same type of concerns that AdTech has?
I'm sorry.
You do. None of these contracts have been disclosed properly.
There's no reason to believe otherwise. I'm sorry. That's the way it is, and that's the way we're going to go.
I just find that very uncomfortable and uneasy.
Listen, how many years have you been on this body? I'm moving on. If you want, you can vote against the contracts, you can do whatever you want, but we're moving on with the business.
This marks, I'm sorry, let's say it's a lot. This marks a very sad day, because in light of everything that we know, from 2 weeks ago to now, everything.
No, you don't know everything.
Yes, we do.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to have a debate.
I
gave the minority leader his time.
Yes, please.
Please, I'm not going to have a debate.
In light of I'm not saying we know everything. What I'm saying, in light of what we know today,
18 years or 20 years.
What we know today about AdTech, as well as what we know about what's going on in the county. If you have read the complaints, I cannot believe that anybody would just go forward and not have the proper disclosures in place.
I'm going to have the final word. It seems to me, and I think to members of this body, that there is a particular contract that is in question. It doesn't mean that every other contract that's before us would be questionable as well. And I would like to move on.
And I would like to think that we're having a healthy discussion. But what I'm trying to say is that the reason why that contract's an issue, because none of the lobbying, the consulting, the officers, none of that was disclosed. We need to change that. The way we change that is by considering our bill, or you have your own bill. But either way, we need to have that information disclosed. The way we change that is
I'm going to have the final word.
Put a bill before us.
Listen to me, and just what I said to you before. When we're ready to put forth a bill that is palatable to all of us, we shall do it. In the meantime, we're going to go forward with the Rules Committee. And without any further ado, we'll call the first contract. And that's contract A12.
So basically, we're advocating for the same process that got us to this point. That's what we're basically business as usual.
The same process that got us here for 20 years then, if that's the case.
But Madam Presiding Officer, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The bottom line is not having a disclosure bill in place We're just going along to get along, to continue
No,
business
that's
as usual.
not so.
Yes,
And
it
you know-
is.
Well,
We
no,
need,
I know.
do you agree that we need a disclosure bill? Because maybe we're on two different sides.
No, we're analyzing both of them, Karan, and you should be satisfied with that. And if I'm not just gonna sit here and say, we'll pass this bill or that bill without due diligence.
But we had 13 days
And
to
I
do due
need to
diligence.
know it's gonna work.
We had 13
Okay.
days.
No, oh, come on.
How much more time do we
This is-
need?
Madam Chair.
I'm sorry,
Do
hold on.
you know, Madam Presiding Officer, that this Rules Committee has voted on hundreds of
That's
millions
right.
of dollars of contracts?
Yes.
How do you know that each and every one of them should have been disclosed properly?
Nassau families deserve that transparency.
Come on,
We
listen
have
and
families
listen
that are
carefully.
struggling.
We're talking
We have
about
families that
what,
are struggling
some
here.
of
We
you
can't
were not,
afford to have
not
business as
recognized,
usual.
Carrier.
We must
You were
change
not
here.
recognized, Carrier. Okay? We're gonna move on. Okay, and we will put before this body a law that can be enforced. And that's it. And we're talking about one issue that has made a particular issue for legislation. I'm sorry, that's it. That's it. Contract A12, contract with Purchasing and General Technologies, Inc. All right, motion please.
So moved.
Moved by legislator Dunn, second by legislator Capel. Who's here to speak on this particular contract?
Bob McManus, District Attorney's Office. The District Attorney's Office recently implemented a conversion to the just